Hello, everybody. The Army of Light Earth Division, the boots on the ground. It's Shauna L. Francis, and today is March 19th, 2025. Thanks, everybody, for joining me. We're channeling the Order of Melchizedek, an ancient priesthood who are metaphysical in nature. They span all dimensionality, and they have a really big hand in the ascension of humanity and of Mother Earth. So I've got some wonderful words to share with all of you today from the Order of Melchizedek. What I'm really enjoying about the last couple of weeks with them is they are giving us some really good, I guess, like words to describe what we're going through right now. We're in the middle of it. It's hard to kind of see the forest for the trees when you're kind of in the eye of the storm here. But we're in unprecedented times. This is the time of tribulation, as they stated last week. This has all been prophesied in the Bible. Everything is really actually unfolding just the way it's supposed to, even though it's going to be hard for many people here. Know that it is going in the right direction. Everything's moving forward to the liberation of humanity from the negative reptilian regime who've really been controlling things from behind the curtain. It's time, guys. A little bit of pain before we get there, but we're all moving together in the right direction. I think that's just important to keep that context in mind. Let's see here. What else? I'm looking into X. I created a profile on X, and really having a fresh profile with no algorithm, no algorithms, no search history, no followers, not following anybody. All it was Elon Musk and Donald Trump and all of their propaganda. So regardless of where you sit in terms of your opinions about these guys, they are really, I couldn't believe how they're using X to really capitalize on all their messaging and what they're doing. And I was blown away by it, actually, just scrolling and scrolling and scrolling through all of this, just one story after another. Anyway, I'm going to get on there. Hopefully the rest of this week I will find time and the ability to get on and do some tweets on what we're talking about here with the Order of Melchizedek, bring some light there and some of these messages. All right. I hope you're all doing great. We have the spring equinox tomorrow. And again, just a beautiful time to let new energies in. Think about spring, rebirth, growth, kind of coming out of hibernation, coming out of the cold and into the light, and everything's going to be greening up and sparkling, and the rains will come and cleanse everything. So allow this to really be a time for rejuvenation for you, rebirth, moving forward, new vistas, new outlook on life, just levity and keeping things light. All right, I'm going to go ahead and start with the channeling from the last couple of days, a really nice affirmation from Melchizedek. And again, I'm finding a lot of comfort in these words, providing us with some real context for what we're going through. All right. Dear ones, they started. We embark on this next phase of the journey together. It is an intimate space that we've created, one of sharing and trust, of community. Many of you strain to stay present for these messages with the current events and those who have been named on the world stage, playing the very critical roles of the Antichrist and the false prophet. Know, dear ones, that we feel your worry, we feel your confusion, we feel your anger, and we feel your exasperation. We first just want to say that we are sorry that for some of you, our words have caused you some form of pain. We hold each of you in our arms. This dear one in the chair, also suffering in her own ways, trying to reconcile a wide range of emotions and thoughts while trying to keep pace with this ever increasing quickening. We have reached a lightning pace, they said. And as we've explained to this dear one for a time, it may feel like we are never caught up and we're always trying to play catch up. Things are moving so very quickly. Yeah, guys, I don't even know. I don't even know where to start in terms of just my days and nights blending together, a lot of meditation and channeling and things happening so quickly, like instant manifestation. It always feels like I'm just a little bit behind, never quite caught up. Maybe you're feeling that way too. Maybe the spring equinox, things will loosen up a little bit. I doubt it. I just feel like, and the guides have talked about this a lot, this idea that we are in the time of a quickening. And it's just, it's like time is getting more elastic. It's contracting, it's expanding, it's doing this many times a day possibly, and just really never feeling like we're ever caught up. That's me. Also, I'm just like in the throes of beginning hot flashes and mood swings and brain fog and all the fun menopause stuff. This stuff has really kicked in for me in the last, I'd say, month. So that's not making things any more fun for me on my end here. All right, I'm going to continue here. Now, more than ever, dear friends, living in the moment will serve you well. Being present for your own joy and happiness is paramount. Expressing every day with your heart, open kindness, filled with love, will be the medicine that soothes you in these times. If you are pointing fingers, if you are shaking your fist at another, you have put them in darkness, and by default, this is also where you shall dwell. We invite you, each and every one of you, to repeat these words after us if you are so inclined. Let me just go back and read that again. It was a little choppy. If you are pointing fingers, if you are shaking your fist at another, you have put them in darkness, and by default, this is also where you shall dwell. All right, those you damn you back. If you're putting somebody else in darkness, you put yourself in darkness. So everything is a reflection. It's always a mirror there. Okay, so if you'd like to repeat these words after the Order of Melchizedek, here we go. On this day, I choose to know myself in truth, to see myself as I truly am, free of source, omnipresent, and effervescent. Today I choose kindness and compassion for others who may not see the world as I do, who may have formed different opinions based on their own unique life experiences. And also realize that, like me, they're doing the best they can, knowing what they know at the vibration that they hold in this very dense field. Today, I choose an illumined path where the only truth that needs to be declared is that we are all one, whether we are able to remember this or not. On this day, I choose to take a stand for light and for love and for the transformative power of this expression to create this heaven on earth that we all long for. I am positively contributing to peace and love on this planet. Let it be so. All right. That was yesterday, and now moving on to today's channeling. It's a new age, dear friends. The page has been turned. We have arrived together. Make no mistake, for some, the pain and suffering of this great time will be very real. Fear, anguish, anger, the suffering, these lower vibrational emotions will be amplified, artificially amplified, because your oppressors know that fear can create more fear. Anger can incite more anger. Suffering breeds more suffering. These are energies, dear friends, and these energies can move swiftly and be quite powerful if left unchecked and unquestioned by an unsuspecting collective. Okay. They're saying, yeah, there's going to be anger, anguish, fear, suffering, and these are going to feel very real for people, a lot of people on the planet in these times. These are all lower vibrational energies that are being artificially amplified by the negative reptilian regime and those who do their bidding here on the planet, because they know that if you are putting out fear, that is contagious. If you're putting out suffering, if you're putting out anger, these things are, it's all energy, and we start to resonate that if we're being fed a steady stream of that. Drip, 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 just like they talked about last week, a steady drip of this. All right, so it's artificially being amplified to create more of the same. And it can be quite powerful if left unchecked by an unsuspecting collective. I love that. Here we go again with this here. There will be those in humanity who raise their fists in defiance, in solidarity with those who are like-minded, and those same fists will be shaken against those who are not aligned in beliefs. Boy, looking at X, I can see this very, very clearly. All right. This escalating indignation is creating battlefields across the world. Throughout this time, the divisions between these battlefields will grow, the intensity will grow, the vitriol will escalate. People will resolve themselves to dig in their heels even harder, even deeper for their chosen ideologies. We call this immediate time frame the Great Fracturing, whereby slowly but surely your ability to work together across ideologies, across differences in opinions and belief systems becomes more and more strained. The divide between ideologies and beliefs growing wider and wider as the shouting becomes more intense and louder on all sides. Okay, so they're talking about these kind of just even within the United States, but even on a larger scale around the world, but really being concentrated here with the placement of these two, the Antichrist and the false prophet, really bringing about this change, okay? The great fracturing, whereby absolutely and surely our abilities to start to continue to work together across ideologies beyond our own belief systems, to be able to reach across an aisle and work together is going to become more and more difficult. These divides are going to continue to be more and more wide. So it's kind of interesting because they've always talked about these kind of two convergent paths here. We've got kind of the way of the 3D and the way of kind of the 5D, and really, those things bifurcating so much that there's not going to be an ability to kind of switch sides or be kind of a foot in both sides. We're in a time here where there's a fork in the road and we're choosing. But what they're talking about is a little bit different. This is going to be the great fracturing within those who are choosing kind of more this, I think, 3D pathway here, where it is this raising fists against each other. It is being divided and hating or not respecting or not supporting each other based on belief systems. So the great fracturing here is really beginning to start now. This is the immediate time frame they're referring to. All right. Ideologies and beliefs, the rift growing wider and wider as the shouting becomes more intense and louder on all sides. Okay. I really think that X is ground zero for this. The vitriol is real, and it is important to this regime who is helping to foster this division on the planet. But in truth, on the worldwide stage, the divisions won't be near as bad as they will be portrayed through your media sources. The media will continue to foster unrest, extreme bias, fighting, insurrection, strong disagreements, chaos, and confusion. And we're seeing that already. And they continue here. You can imagine a wide valley beginning to be cut by rivers. The rivers growing more and more wide, separating the land masses into islands. Some rivers are but a stream right now, and it's easy to jump from island to island, from land to land, or walk across the river. But in this time, this time of great fracturing, these rivers will grow wider. They will become too swift and too deep to cross. And then they continue here. Separation and division by ideologies are represented by this valley of rivers and islands. And I can't remember which part of the Bible when we talked about Revelation, but part of Revelation is all the islands sink and everything is flattened. So mountains are flattened and islands go away, and this all just this one congruent place. And that was really what they were talking about when there's no more islands. When we get through this time of tribulation and we finally come together as a species, these factions aren't going to exist anymore. These battlefields aren't going to exist. That we are eventually going to come together. Okay. They continue here with this metaphor. Now there is a beautiful mountain that overlooks this valley. There is another choice. Many of you will take this higher ground. Many of you will choose to scale the mountain and not be stuck on an island. From this higher vantage point, you can see what's happening. You can observe it. You can hold compassion for what's taking place. You can raise a torch of light for others who wish to walk or swim out of this valley to join you on this mountain. Here you can hold the space of peace and love. Here you can bear witness to this unfolding, the unfolding of these energies of this time, and you can understand at a deep level where these divisions are really coming from and why they are here. The Order of Melchizedek has named the Antichrist and also the false prophet. And to demonize these two people would go against the teachings that we have been offering you. All right. Getting up in the higher vantage point, looking down at the valley and all the islands of division, separated by these swiftly moving rivers. It's not about demonizing the Antichrist and the false prophet. It is about seeing this for what it really is and why this is happening, where it's coming from, and who is fostering it. As long as we are fighting each other, being divided, getting further and further apart in terms of being able to work together, the better off the negative reptilian regime is. We are giving them a ton of power by doing this. All right. Then they continue here. Over the years, through these channelings, we have told you in depth what it is we're fighting for. We've exposed the true perpetrators on this grand stage. This is the next generation of consciousness, the new seeds germinating, the sparks ignited. Take a deep breath with us as we recognize the narrative for what it is, and we consciously and with love choose differently. All right, guys, that's it from Melchizedek today. Living in the moment's going to serve us well right now. Things are going so very quickly. Excuse me. It's really taking a stand to be operating above the fray and not to get just swept up in all this chaos and fear and hatred and anger that's going on right now. It is pacifism. It is taking the high road. It is not getting ingrained, embalmed, and intertwined and meshed in the fighting that's going on right now on the world stage. The fights of any kind, by the way, not just what's happening here in the States. They're calling this time the Great Fracturing and talking about these fractures only growing wider through this time. All right, and I think that's why it's important that we are doing everything we can to be the beacon through our expression, through our presence. Kindness, letting kindness rule, be there with compassion. All right, recognizing the narrative for what this is and choosing differently. Challenging, yeah. Okay, one last little tidbit. Melchizedek has told me where this portal is to this other planet. If you remember from middle of last year, we had a channeling where they talked about sending me where no human has gone before. And this has come up now, and it's coming up quickly. I'm not going to say anything more about it. I don't know exactly how much they want me to divulge, but know that this is also going on in the background. I am planning for another trip this summer to make it to this portal, and we're going to give this a try. And again, it's not that it's about disclosure or proving alien life. I mean, this is really it's an experiment to see if this is possible, to put a human through this portal physically, to physically go to this other planet. And I know how this sounds. And they're saying, again, it's a long shot. It's really a long shot, but I'm going to go all in, give it my best shot. Coming up in a few months. All right. Yeah. I love you guys. Thanks for being here. I know this is challenging information for many of you. I appreciate you. I hope you're doing amazing, and I love you. We'll see you next week.